What if the world of white supremacy, racism, didn't exist? How would that look? My job is to take you on a journey of what could be if we continue to resist against this scourge called racism. The first priority would be health. Our job would be to ensure those who need health and who need help with health get as much as they need, because it don't matter how much money you have. If you're not healthy, you wouldn't be able to use it. By all of us working together, no matter what religious creed or color, we can build some of the best state-of-the-art hospitals there is. Our second priority, in the words of Neely Fuller, if we are going to replace this system of white supremacy, then we must replace it with justice. So, we would have to put an end to prosecuting and railroading people based on color. The entire criminal justice system needs to be overhauled and replaced with fairness and justice to the best of our abilities. What I'm talking about is not a utopia, and this is very achievable. I say that because obviously this system hasn't always been around, because this system didn't create itself. It borrowed from Greek and Latin terms. And the Latin word, the Latin definition for justice is jus, J-U-S, meaning law. These concepts which govern this system are borrowed from ancient African cultures. But what white supremacists have done is distorted that system of justice and replaced it with a system of injustice, mainly for darker skinned people all around the world. That's why you see today in America, a country that's predominantly white, have a predominantly black incarceration population. The only way they can achieve incarceration rates like this is because of injustice. One of the main things you need to create a dystopia is injustice. And that's the world we live in. A dystopia called the modern world. So concerning law, we must all work to replace this system of injustice with justice. Another priority we need to look at is food insecurity. If we didn't have racism, people around the world would not face starvation. Food insecurity will have to be addressed. Governments around the world will have to promote small forms and technological innovations for single families to keep giants like Walmart and Kroger's from controlling food distribution. How was Walmart able to go from a small store in Arkansas to a global conglomerate with the earning power that rivals some small nations? You guessed it, white supremacists. Why do I say that? Because they like to see non-white people suffer. And that's who is affected more because of the lack of options. You can disagree. You might say this, you might say that. But I want you to explain to me, how does having a monopoly help you? It don't. Having less options is bad for everyone. The next priority that needs to be addressed is housing. Having affordable housing options is quintessential to implementing justice. You can't have justice without housing. It's inhumane and it brings out the worst in people. They turn into werewolves and all kind of vampires and all kind of dragons and everything that you wouldn't want to deal with on your best day. So in a world without racism, a person would have almost unlimited affordable housing options. You wouldn't have privatization of land and housing like you do now. And guess who allowed these companies like BlackRock and Remax or others to get that large? You guessed it. The usual suspects, white supremacists. By privatizing land, it makes it almost impossible to have certain housing options, because when you put that type of land and that type of wealth into the hands of a few, that is by definition white supremacy, in which we wish to end. Affordable transportation is another priority that needs to be addressed. In a world without racism, there would be affordable transportation, whether that's from having better cars, better trains to commute, or better planes. Public transportation is key because those people who have private cars spend a big portion of their money on fuel, getting from one place to another. The mass suburban exit from 1945 to 1970 caused a separation of housing by color line. This left the inner cities to fend on their own and disintegrate. By eliminating white supremacy, transportation resources and infrastructure will be evenly distributed and will be affordable. Transportation planners can work and collaborate with communities to design transportation systems that would meet the needs of all its residents. To make a long story short, racism keeps us from evolving.